Hey everybody, today we'll be making Korean-Style Bulgogi with quick-pickled vegetables. I'm Chef Jeff, and you're watching Publix Aprons Cooking School online. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is work on our marinade. Now, we just need a little bit of ginger, so I'm gonna snap off what I'm looking for. And when you're shopping for this, you don't have to buy the whole hand. You can just break a piece of that off. Using the back of the spoon, you can actually peel the ginger with just that, and that papery outside comes right off. Now, it does take a little bit of time, so I've got one ready to go for us. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna slice up our ginger. And this doesn't have to be perfect because it is going into a food processor. So once we've got that all sliced up, we'll just drop it right in here. And we're going to add some brown sugar, some diced onion, a few cloves of garlic, and some pear. And the pear is going to add some flavor. It's traditionally used, and also the enzymes of the pear are going to help to tenderize that meat for us a little bit. A little bit of black pepper. And then about a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. And about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Beautiful. Now, we'll just get the lid on. And once it's pureed and it's all smooth and the consistency is pretty even, we can go ahead and move it over to a zip top bag. We've made a collar on the bag. Kind of helps it stand a little bit, but more importantly, it's going to keep the outside of the bag nice and clean. And we can go ahead and get our marinade in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get our steak now that we've got this in the bag, and we can keep it going. So I've just taken our skirt steak out of the freezer and put it in there because this is a pretty thin slice of meat, and by freezing it a little bit, not all the way, it's going to make it a lot easier to work with. Now, you can see the muscle striations going in this direction. We're going to cut this into 3 pieces, and then we're actually going to go ahead and cut against that grain. We're going to use a fairly severe bias, and that's going to give us nice wide slices, which will go really well on the grill. Want to cut them nice and thin, and these are going to go right into our marinade. All right. Once we get this in, we can just pull the collar up over the marinade, get a bunch of that air out, and kind of move it around. Make sure that all of our steak is getting marinated nicely. And we'll just go ahead, zip it shut, and I'm going to take this to marinate for 30 minutes. So while I've got our steak marinating, I went ahead and sliced our veggies real thin to get them prepped. But first we're going to start with the pickling liquid. We're going to add some water, nice hot pot, salt, some sugar, and a ½ cup of rice vinegar. And let me just give this a quick stir. And we want to let this come to the boil, make sure that we've dissolved our sugar and our salt. Now with our veggies, we started with a Serrano pepper, which was sliced very thin. This is going to help that quick pickle to happen, quickly. We've got some green onion, carrots, sliced garlic, and then we also got a Daikon radish. Now you can have our produce department cut this down to whatever size you may need. We sliced it very thin on a mandolin, giving us some beautiful discs, and we're going to take these and actually cut them into strips. Beautiful. And add that as well. So our pickling liquid's come to the boil. All of that sugar and salt is nicely dissolved. We're just going to pour it right over the top of these veggies. Perfect. And so now we just want to let this come to room temperature on its own. During that time, we'll get the pickling we're looking for, and I'm going to go get our steaks. All right, so we've got our marinated skirt steak here. Our grill pan is nice and hot. We want to make sure it's real hot so that we can get a good caramelization, a nice sear on our meat. So let's go ahead and take this out. Oh, that's the sound you want to hear right there. It's a beautiful thing. Want to make sure we do not crowd the pan because that's going to create steam and we won't get the sear marks we want. Now we slice these real thin, so they're only going to need about 2 minutes on each side. And we're going to do these in batches because, again, we don't want to put too much in the pan at once. Now we want to just kind of let this go, get a good sear. It's important not to try to pick it up too soon because if you do, it'll stick a little bit and you might end up tearing the meat. Instead, leave it be. When it comes up on its own, that's when you know that sear is complete. All right, these are looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and turn them over. And once we do, it's only about 2 more minutes and they'll be ready to go. And we can get the next set going. All right, so now that our steak is done, we just need to garnish. We've got some toasted sesame seeds. Beautiful. Some sliced green onions right on top here. There we go, just like that. No such thing as too much steak. And our quick pickled veg. There we go. Look at all that color. And we've got some Gochujang sauce. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. Now let's give this a taste. Yeah, that's fantastic. A little bit of sweetness from the marinade, that acidity and a little bit of spice from the peppers in the quick pickle, plus that quick pickle still has some crunch to it, so we've got different textures. This really is fantastic. And the lesson here, don't be afraid to try quick pickling your own vegetables. It's fast, easy, and most of all delicious. And with just a couple other techniques, you can serve an amazing dish like this from the comforts of home. Use the link to download this full recipe and be sure to check out our other Aprons Cooking School videos and subscribe for more great content from Publix. Thanks for watching.